I have selected these topics based on discussion with the board of the club to help you understand more about colors, pigmentation in precise, and then mutation. The style that I adopt is very simple. I put myself in your shoes. 10 years ago, I knew nothing. So I start thinking about the questions that go in your mind. Based on that, I prepare a few slides. But this is not everything. This is just the start of discussions. I am requesting you to make this interaction, or to make this session very interactive. Ask. I don't like my voice. I am not a singer. Okay? So ask. Don't feel shy. If you have something that is pressing, stop it. Ask me. Everybody will learn together. Okay? So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, we start. Very humble disclaimer that I have kept together, that this is purely for educational purposes. I do not mean to offend anyone. I do not mean to hurt anyone in any way. I have chosen the collateral that will be shared in these slides for the pure intention of education. Our agenda for today, what do I have in mind for us to learn together? Well, first, how do we call a mutation? Very briefly, what's the right way? Let's talk about international standards. Not only Pakistan, not only Bahrain, let's go global. What's the right way of saying this is this bird or that? Then, this beautiful bird that you see, I see green, but is it really green? I see purple, is it purple? If I take a feather, I make it zoomed in under the telescope, will I see purple? So let's think together. That's the second topic. Then from there, how does the Gouldian finch feather look like? From there, we will be looking at the effects on mutations. I have a pastille here in green series, but the classic was much richer. And there is one level of pastille after this, one level further away from classic. Why all this color is diluted? What happens? We will understand that together today. From here, we talk about the approved mutations for show competitions. You hear all kinds of names, but what is approved? What is not approved? We will talk about that, and I start with head mutation, breast mutations, then we talk about the green back, the blue back, and we wrap it up with questions that I have selected for you. Okay, so if you don't ask me, I will ask you. Right, with this, let's start. The very important thing I wanted to start my presentation about is misconception. There's a lot of rumors, whether about the bird, or about the mutation, or about the style of breeding. There's a lot, and this is the human nature. When we don't know something, we start assuming. And the assumption becomes the fact, which is very fragile fact. So, does everybody know who this guy is? Who is he?
We don't know.
We don't know?
You don't know.
So, do you know the King of UK? King Charles.
Oh.
This is his heir. He's the Prince of Wales, right? Prince William. He's his son. He's Royal of UK. Big celebrity. Yes? Coming from the Royal. Now, you would expect that this kind of person would be very diplomatic, you know, he will be very wise in selecting his words correct. They get trained on that, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is him. What is he doing? What do you think?
This line is flying. From this picture, it's
That's
flying.
bad, right?
Yes.
How do you feel when you see this kind of thing?
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Picture of
Another angle. Same. Another angle. What happened? Now forget about that. Same guy, another angle. What happened?
Sweet.
Acceptable?
Acceptable.
Not offensive. Moral of the slide. Single-sided stories are extremely dangerous. You see a story from one side, you build your raising, your breeding techniques in golden finches. On that, we are a team. This club is the family. I learn from you, you learn from me. We share, we exchange. Why? To avoid this. Okay? We have to see the story from all angles. You hear somebody saying, oh, this is aqua cinnamon. What aqua cinnamon? Is this true? This is aqua cinnamon. Oh, this is satini and whatever. Mutations will keep coming and going. Always there is. Our job is basically to stop the misconceptions. You seek knowledge from renowned sources. That is super important. Ask. There is big organizations, not just people. There is big organizations that can help teach. Ask. And then be humble in seeking knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Yusuf, what does He say? وَفَوْقَ كُلِّ ذِي عِلْمٍ عَلِيمٍ. Nobody knows everything. You think you know everything, but trust me, you know nothing. I know nothing. Every day I'm learning. So be humble, be kind, don't hurt each other. That's very important. And I'm saying this based on my own personal experience. And then we have lots of references, so we have to validate the references with the facts, so that whenever we have a piece of information, it becomes true. Good so far? Without further ado, let's start with the first topic in our agenda. So let's now talk about naming. What is this? How do you call this bird?
Purple breast.
Purple breast. Okay.
Green back.
Red head. Common bird. Why we have all these namings? We are not even 50 people in one room. Everybody is coming from every place, not just Karachi, right? So let's learn properly. So when we go back to our countries and our cities, at least we know something. We have a standard. Do you agree?
Yes.
So how do we call a blue bird or a green bird? We start with the gender. Is it male or female?
Male.
You have to say that first. Then head color. Then back color, green. Then so you said purple breast. That's the last thing we call for a bird. And I'm saying this is not my style. This is the standard style. So I can come and say red head classic, also acceptable. But get used to saying red head, green back, purple breast. Of course, it's a male. And when I look at this, similar story. Now I move on. What if it's a pastille? What's the difference between the two? The difference is in the factor. Same topology. Head, first of course the gender, male or female. Then head, back, factor. Is it single factor? Is it double factor? And then the breast. So in this case, for example, we could come and say male, red head, green back, pastille, single factor, purple breast, or lilac breast to be precise in this case. Yes?
Yes.
So when we are dealing with pastilles, either blue or green, we follow this naming topology. Good? The second topic that we have is pigmentation. Do you all agree that Godian finches is a colored finch?
Yes.
It's not a model finch.
Yes.
It's not a size finch. It's not a feather type finch. Rainbow finch, color. Predominantly it's color. Our job is to take care of the color as a breeder and then improve the model. the size, the head, the beak, condition most importantly. But let's not forget, this is a color bird. Rainbow, thank you very much for saying rainbow. It in fact has 7 colors. So we have agreed on this fact. Moving on. How does this bird look like when I strip all these colors? This is how the bird looks like. No colors. No colors. Zero. So why I have kept those lines? Because they are the areas where different types of pigments live on the feather and beneath the skin as well. Is my English okay so far?
Yes.
Very good. So, let's try to see how does the classic bird look like. That bird in the previous page or this bird. How does it look like if I start naming the pigments? So, to start with, just the mask itself, area, the whole area of the mask, will have pheomelanin and aeomelanin. Okay, some people will say, I don't know what's pheomelanin, I don't know what's aeomelanin, and I don't want you to be scientists. I am not scientists. Okay? Very simple. Pheomelanin is the brown color that is borderline red. It's very, very super brown. Almost maroon. That's pheomelanin. Those who breed canary finches, maybe you hear about pheo, yeah, red eye, pheo, also the color. It's called pheo because it's the Latin, right? They call it basically a very rich maroon-like brown. Aeomelanin is everything black. Simple, black. This is why I keep the color circles here for you. So when you hear AO, black. Pheo is like brown maroon, right? Because we do have red, don't forget that. And the red is for the redhead. If I take the cantaxanthine, which is red, it's a pigment available, and it gets oxidized, basically in humble layman's way, let's say it gets rusted, right? Like iron gets rusted, then you get orange from the same. And then finally you still have aeomelanin if it was a black head mask. So this area alone, look at how many colors you're dealing with. Praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Next, you have the throat band, which goes all the way to govern the mask. It's wider in the bottom and then becomes almost 1 to 2 milli on the top near the crown. This is pure aeomelanin, black. Then, the back of the Gaudian finch, which is the classic, which is green. The question is, what does it constitute of? Well, it has a structured feather, which is blue. And then, lipichrome, which is lutein, which is yellow. That's why you see, or you hear lutino. You hear lutino. What does lutino mean? Yellow. Yellow. Lutein-ino. Lutino. For those who breed society finches, cream-ino. 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 So, lutein-ino, lutino, it means yellow. Back is all yellow, mixed up with blue. Right? And then you have some black aeomelanin there. Question for you. What's the truth of the black-green color?
Yellow and blue mixture.
Very good. Yellow and blue mixture. There you go.
Yes.
So you have the yellow and you have the blue, and the result of them two coming together is green. Then another question. How come I have some classic birds that are beautiful green backed? Some of them are wishy-washy green backed.
Maybe if blue more than as normal, but it white.
Or maybe black.
So the level of the aeomelanin and
Exactly. Why I started with this presentation is for you to know that a lot of the time you see a golden finch with blue feathering.
Yes.
That's the blue dominating over the yellow. Instead of showing green, he has blue. And then somebody will run and write in the Facebook, I have a new mutation. No, you don't. You don't. Go back to the previous slide where I said verify, get the facts right. Because the moment you run to the mass audience, you screw their heads. We don't want that. We want to be humble and walk on steady path. So the truth explains what your eyes see. If you have too much blue, especially on the wings area, or you have greens. Have you ever seen a pastel bird that has black feathers?
Yes.
Yellow, and then you see black. Yes?
Yes.
Because of this equation, because of this formula. The bird was not a good classic bird. Then when the pastel coming from that bird is also not good. So it's always good if you're a color breeder, if you love colors, please select your birds carefully. Or you breed albino, up to you. But if you want to enjoy the colors, you do it properly. I have some good examples for you as well here. That tail, in case you notice, on the classic bird will be aqua color, and then it will have white, and then it will have black. Yes? So the combination of all will be there, including some lutein pigmentation between the upper cohort. The breast itself is a combination of the blue structure feather with pheomelanin, right? So if I have this with that, that's the reality of the purple breast. A combination of the two. Subhanallah. So people think that it's purple. Purple is not. If it was purple, you will never get lilac breast or white breast. It's a mixture that gives you purple. Okay? So try to remember how important blue is in the bird's body, because it's almost all over. Right. And then the flank area will also have some pheomelanin in it. Okay, we see yellow, but if you pay extra careful attention to a good bird, to a champion bird, you will see that this area of yellow is brighter than this area of yellow.
Yes.
This is just yellow, which we call lipochrome yellow. Lipochrome is a family, lutein is a specific color. And then in this area, another lipochrome, in this case, is white. This is the lower tail coverts. Let's talk a little bit about how does the feather of the golden finch looks like. And very important, because as breeders you want to pair the best male with the best female. But the best with the best is not what my eyes see always. I have to examine the feather quality of the male and the feather quality of the female. So let me give you an example. This is a classical typical feather. It's how it looks like. So this is the feather. If you look at the calamus, or the barb, if I may say, the calamus, then this is the zoomed area. In the calamus itself, I have replica, but on a smaller scale, which is called barb. If you zoom into that area, you end up being here. Remember, we said kajur? Kajur, right? So, this is the leaf of the kajur-like tree, right? And each branch, which is in this case the barb, again, you have more of that. This is any bird. Allah created this like this. Now, what's the difference between Goldian and, let's say, frill canary? You know frill canary?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
It's like, it's like somebody who has long hair came out from shower by doing this to his hair. It's like feather everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So, in those kind of birds, the actual hooklets, barboils are very long. Very long. This is why when you pluck a feather from those birds, you will see it's like a full fan. Complete feather. And soft. Very soft. In Gaudian finches, the impact of the feather is based on two pillars. One, gender. Two, the actual pigment, the color. These two factors, the gender of the bird and the pigment, are the two factors that are responsible for shaping the feather. Let's talk about the gender. Here I have a sample of how the male's feather looks like. Here I have a sample of how the female's feather look like. And this is the normal, standard, typical feather. Let's do a quick comparison. So what I have longer barbs in the Gaudian finch. This gives the bird the ability when he's dancing. Have you seen the Gaudian finch when he's dancing and posing?
Yes.
He becomes like a peacock. Look at the head. It comes round. Wow. Because he has the ability to have long barbs. So the actual feather can stretch, can stand, right? Compared to any other bird that is there. A pigeon, for example, doesn't have it. He relies on the crop, right? So the crop, right? It will blow it up. So in Gaudian finches, it's about the feather itself, how it moves. Then also, if you look at the end, it does not have barboils. Barboils are small like curls on the edge of the feather. And this is the difference between the Gaudian finch and birds like the zebra finch English type. For those of you who breed zebra finch, you see the English type, it's all feather, big, buffed up. As for the females, she has very short hooklets. So when you have the feather, there is no chance for more color to come on the top because it's very short. So, and then the barboils, which were not existing in the male, they are also not existing here. And I'll give you a pictorial example of this. On the other side, we look at the pigmentation. So, this is male and this is female. These feathers are from the head. Okay? Head feathers. Red head, black head, orange head. If I look at the red head, pay extra attention. Rich, red, what happens as it transits? Becomes lighter, lighter, and then it gets met with who? It gets mixed with black. Black. Remember when I said in the beginning there is aeomelanin in the head? So this is the male. Look at the female. You see the feather relatively short, much short. How big is the male? How smaller is the female? Look how tall are these. And this is what I meant when you have the bandwidth. For the male, when he's singing, his feathers, because they are long, they support his posture. The female doesn't have them, so she can't. Right? On the black head, what's the difference other than color? What's the difference in the look of the feather? Speak up.
Color.
Other than color, what is the difference in the look?
Looks silky.
Looks silky type. Thank you so much. That's what I'm looking for. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the black feathers to be the strongest in the family. Who breeds pigeons? Did you notice that the tips of the pigeon, the flight feathers, the primary flight feathers in any classic pigeon, they are black? The pigeon looks great. You catch it, bring the feathers out, and you see it's all black. Why? It's created so that the bird can carry its weight. These are very strong feathers. These are not like those feathers. So how they can be strong if they are fluffy? They are strong when they are, as you said, silky like. They are like very sharp, very functional, like sticks. That's the power of black in the bird kingdom. Every black color you see, you always notice that it looks like this. And these are live examples of how the Gaudian looks like. Now, The rest pretty much looks the same with the exception. You also notice that the feather length are slightly different. Then you come to the orange head. Look at this. It's very different. Similar to the red, but more loose. Right? So the point is that the feathers get impacted by the actual gender of the bird and the color. This is why people will come and say, so I have a red-head hen. What's the best male for her? You decide. If you want looser feathers, then you cross orange with red. What happens? You get loose feathers. Okay? You want to balance the bird, you want to balance them out, you introduce black. Black is king, as they say. It will bring the feather back on track. You want fluff, you want buff, you go red and orange, for example. Okay? So, this is, continuing on the orange head example, this is a classic orange head male, and this is how the feather of the head looks like. You could clearly see that there is quite a significant portion of the yellow or lutein when I have this type of feather accompanied with pheomelanin, right? Yes? And then the aeomelanin is there, and this is nothing but the residual of the feather. When I have this feather, it looks yellow, but then I have yellow over yellow over yellow. What happens? Orange, right? What do you think this bird's head feather will look like? The breast was purple, it became white. What does this tell you? Lighter, but why?
Maybe pigmentation.
Of course it's pigmentation, but why?
Breast color changing.
Yes.
That's
I'm
why.
looking for the pheomelanin.
Okay.
Pheomelanin is missing.
Okay.
Gone. This bird is this bird. But see, the back is green. The back is lighter green. Even the belly is different from there. Right? We have good pictures later on to share, but this is just an example to help you think. The difference, the moment you see these two birds, you will know immediately that this bird has now technically or theoretically zero pheomelanin in his body. So his feather will be lighter. What happened to this pheomelanin? Gone. Okay? Moving on with some further examples. Now that we understood the basics of the feather, look at the mutations. Effect of disappearance of some of the pigments and how it looks like on the bird. So this is a classic bird. These are all by a friend of ours called Marco. So this is a classic bird, yes? Now, the classic bird, and I have a pastel bird. This is a mutation, so the feather quality is not that great. Just think of the color now, what happened. So from there, classic, I came to here. What happened? Dilute. Dilute what? Dilute means the color became less. It was diluted, exactly. So the back became dilute, right? Sorry?
Humelain.
Humelanin, what happened to it? Yes. Okay, very good. We are there. We're getting there together. Very quickly, the black, what happened to it? Exactly. So let's say 50%. Okay? So things to watch out for is the back, and then the black, which is obviously here, and then finally I also have the aqua band. What happened to the aqua band? Very less. And the result of this is caused by By the way, this is the back. So this is how a classic back looks like, and this is the pastel single factor. Even if you look at the black in the tail, it became gray. So this is the result of dilution, which is the word you use, aeomelanin, which is the word you use, by theoretically 50%. The black became gray. Right, we understood this, that this is classic, and now this is green, single factor pastel. We understood that the aeomelanin became reduced by 50%. Now, here I have green pastel, which is just like that, but white. This was the discussion happening last night across the table when we were eating, right? White breast, what happened? Pheomelanin, what happened? Gone. Totally gone, right? The effect of that, this tells you that this is green now because there is little bit of pheomelanin left. You take that also away, then the back becomes yellow, right? So there you go. Same 50% pheomelanin reduction gets available here, but the pheomelanin gets reduced completely, diminishes.
It also reduces
And then,
it also reduces the blue color which we talked earlier, that the green color is made of blue and yellow color.
Of course.
Where the blue color is?
so basically you got rid of that. This is why you're surviving now on the yellow, right? So what happened? You had blue, and you had the green, you had the yellow and the blue together, right? So here you're actually superseding. You're pumping more and more yellow to the bird, less and less of the blue, less and less of the blue, not more of the blue. So the blue becomes less because of this formula. And we will see that in a moment with more pictures as well. Here we have what? Double factor. How do I know it's a double factor?
What is the beauty, right?
That's the most important thing to know a double factor. The aeomelanin is completely gone, so as a result of that, the chin is white. If the chin is not white, it's not double factor. Okay? I need your help. Who can tell me what's A to D in color pigmentation? As-salam. A,
Green white,
classic.
yes, classic, single vector pastel, and double vector,
Single factor.
C is the single vector.
Why this is single factor, this is single factor? I don't understand.
No,
What is this?
A single vector, C and D are double vector. Yes, sir.
So you're saying C and D are double factor. Okay. Father.
This one is pastel.
This is pastel.
No, this is classic.
Okay.
Is this pastel?
Pastel.
And this one is
Pastel what? Pastel what?
Single factor.
Okay.
And this one is single factor pastel and white breast.
Okay.
And it's a white breast double factor.
Good job. Okay. We understand from each other and we learn from each other. This is a live example of what's happening. You guys answer. Okay? So, with the just on the two factor or the double factor, doesn't matter whether he is white breast or purple breast,
Yes.
because you are getting rid of the black. Okay? That's what is dominating on the back. Now let's quickly have a look at the mutations, and then maybe after I finish the green, I'll start with the head, the breast, and the green, and then we can take a small break, okay? And then we will continue from there. So when it comes to mutations, I have categorized them in 3 domains. One is the classics, is the wild types that we all know. 2 is the officially recognized mutations. When I say officially recognized, it means NBBB or COM have registered them as acceptable mutations. It's not in my house. It's not in my club. It's not in my YouTube channel. That doesn't make it official. What is official is what is recognized by the higher authorities. And then there are ongoing mutations or mutations that are not fixed. For example, you have half-sider. It cannot be inherited. A half-sider father will never give half-sider to his daughters or to his sons. It's one-off. It's a mutation that is not fixed, not recognized. Okay, Melanistic, for example. Right? Example, pied is there, but pied will be inherited, but it's a very, it's damaging the colors. This is why it is not recognized. Pied will get transferred. Pied, in fact, is the ruiner of colors. So, if you have pied, don't breed with it. Don't breed with it unless you mix it with an albino. Because albino is the killer of all melanins and pigments as well. All the lipochromes basically. So then if the bird is very nice and he's pied, then you try to find him an albino partner. The chicks will be carriers, but then you try to see what we have. Okay? So these are the 3 categories of mutations that we have, and we start with the formula that I created for understanding the mutations. So, like we were studying about x-axes and y-axes in mathematics and science and economics and everything else, I call x-axis when it comes to these mutations as the location of the gene. And on that axis, I will have 6-linked or autosome. Okay? And then the y-axis is the strength of that feature now. Is it dominant or is it recessive? Right? Let's take some examples. Who can tell me an example? And by the way, the naming always starts with x-axis then y-axis, right? So 6-linked dominant, 6-linked recessive, or autosomal dominant, autosomal recessive. I don't say recessive 6-linked. 6-linked dominant, 6-linked recessive. Can I have an example of a 6-linked dominant trait mutation in golden finches?
Lutino animal factor. Red hair.
Lutino?
Lutino.
Red hair. Red hair. Excellent. I'll explain why Lutino. Can I now have an example of 6-linked recessive?
Eno.
Which Eno?
Black hat.
Eno, blue Eno.
Blackhead.
Zuino.
Lutino. This is here. 6-linked recessive, not dominant. I chose the blackhead example that you've given me. Can I also have an example of autosomal and recessive?
Blue bag. Yellow head.
Blue back.
Yellow head.
Blackhead.
Yellow head.
Yellow hat is also.
Yellow head, excellent. And blue back, what you said is also correct. Can I have an example of dominant autosomal? Or autosomal dominant?
Hair color? In hair color?
Up to you. I accepted his blue back, I accepted his Lutino. Anything you know. We are only thinking loudly.
Yellow back.
Yellow.
So, yellow back is not autosomal, it's 6-linked. It's not related to autosomal meaning. What does autosomal mean? You don't know, then ask.
Male or female.
Sorry?
Autosomal means whether it's a male or whether it's a female.
We are talking about inheritance.
That are not-
How does this mutation transfer from parents to the children?
Sorry,
Yes, autosomal dominant is perfect. Thank you. So this is the answer for this combination. So when you say autosomal, it means it is independent of the gender of the parent and their children. And when you say autosomal recessive, it means it must be available in both. When it's autosomal dominant, one parent is enough to carry it to both. Visible, not split. This is why to to answer you, which you've answered correct, when you say purple breast, and you take a father or a mother that is purple breast, you give him a partner that is white breast, what will happen to the chicks?
Linear breast.
All purple breast. Split
White.
white
Light
breast.
split white breast.
I hope the autosomal story is clear. Let's look at head mutations, and what we just did now is a good example for that. Okay, so what we have over here, we do have the classics, and then added to that is yellow tip beak. What does yellow tip beak tell you? Is a carrier of what? Yellow head. Okay? So, autosomal recessive is nothing but the orange head. Six-linked recessive is the black head. Six-linked dominant is the red head. Right? Breast mutations. And we have three colors. These are some live examples for you. Here we see the purple. Here we see the lilac. Here we see the white. What do you think of the lilac? What do you think of these lilacs? Are they good lilacs?
Yes.
Or are they bad lilacs? Good lilacs, right?
Yes.
In a good lilac male, he will look like an excellent female.
Yes.
Lilac is nothing but 50% of the purple intensity. So you see the purple, you see the white, this is halfway. Halfway. Because some people get confused, what is lilac? And they bring a bird that is white with a very fine hint of purple. And he calls it lilac. Well, that's a bad lilac. That's not a good lilac. Okay? So when it comes to the breast, white breast is autosomal recessive. It's very weak. This cannot be carrier of anything. And then the lilac breast is basically halfway. It is autosomal recessive to the purple, but dominant to white. And the classic breast is always autosomal dominant. Living on females. Which one of these has lilac breast?
These are.
Which ones? This?
No.
This?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
This one, yes.
This one?
No. No.
What about this?
This one is also light.
What about this?
Yes. Light.
And this?
Purple. No,
Light.
light.
Okay. Rule of thumb. No such thing as lilac breasted female. The eyes of us human beings is not capable to distinguish this. Okay? This is why in the show you never have lilac breasted females. It's just a female. Okay? We call her purple breast. Okay, now let's talk about the greenback series. First, the classics. The classics are, of course, this one is yellow tip beak, yeah? This is all yellow tip beak. Red, black, orange, and there you go. Here we have the purple breast, lilac breast, white breast. All of this, when I'm talking about the greenback, 6-linked dominant. Okay? Then, from there, we talk about pastel green. Right? We have several pictures and symbols, whether it is single factor or double factor. And of course, the female is always single factor because she carries only one sex chromosome. So for those of you who say pastel, the inheritance here is 6-linked codominant. Codominant. It works stronger than 6-linked recessive, little bit weaker than 6-linked dominant. So that's why even if you have a father who's pastel, his daughters will be pastel, but at least one of his sons also. The second son will be split. So this is the power of pastel compared to Lutino. Lutino father will only give his daughters, the sons will be split.
Yes.
Lutino mother, she only gives a split sons. 0 to the daughters because she is recessive. Here we're talking about codominant. Now then comes the famous mutation, which is cinnamon. Some people call it Bruno. So cinnamon. The idea of the cinnamon here is, what does it do to the black? If orange oxidized red, then here brown oxidizes the black. This is exactly what's happening. Cinnamon plays a role only on the black in the bird. So a bird, you can see here brown, you can see the flight feathers which are supposed to look black, they're all brown. You can see here it's brownish, and this is a better example of black versus brown. You can see it's all brown here, of course here, and this is a female, but the lighting isn't great, but she's black. I saw this in person, she's marvelous. The lighting is not helping her. Is Bruno an official naming for cinnamon?
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon is the official
Official,
name.
okay.
So when you call a bird, be official, be international, it's called cinnamon. Then we have Eno green, or green Eno, which is lutein. It basically diminishes the eomelanin, but it cannot harm you, it cannot touch the lipicones. So if I have red, it stays as red. If I have orange, it stays as orange. What happens to the black? It should go. But why do I not see white, perfect white here? Because he's a male. His feathers are longer. And there is air between the feathers. You take this, you pluck it, see it under the microscope, it's white. Okay. This is why a female is slightly different. So, how do I know a male from a female in this situation? I have tons of Lutino. I don't know which is male, which is female. It's very easy. Look at the aqua band. All of these are males except this one. Yeah, even this has a very fine line. You see this? It's big. This is very little. Potentially this. Okay? So when we're dealing with Lutino, we see that the black disappears. But the Bruno or the cinnamon acts. And I'll show you that in a moment. By the way, out of the pigmentation, what do you think about this sheep? Sorry? Fatty? Yeah? Obese? Is it a good bird to have? Do you like these kind of birds? Yes? No?
Yes.
So this is not a good example of a show type bird. It's not what you should be aspiring for. Big fat, you see? It's like a chicken. This is why he may look nice. If this bird loses a lot of the fat, it will be slim. Okay? And you could see, what did we say when we started this discussion with some of you? The head, does it have moisture? Does it have fat? So what happens? You have a body that is huge on a head that is not so proportional. Because there is no chance for the fat to be here, right? So this is the truth of the bird. This is what the breeder is trying to show. As a judge, you learn, you see these things. Right, moving on now, we talk about the cinnamon Eno. Just like the Eno, the difference here is that everything black became brown. So, when I look, these are various examples. Of course, these are males, and this is the females. Again, your aqua band is your biggest, strongest indication of a male. No, See this? Very humble.
Light.
Very humble. It's like a hint, almost not existent. Satin. Is this an official word?
Ceremony.
Wrong side.
Cinnamon.
Ceremony.
Cinnamon.
Eno.
That's the right way. Is it Eno cinnamon? No. Why? Because Eno is stronger than cinnamon. So you start with a weaker name, cinnamon, Eno. Okay, this is the international official language. Facebook, you will see a lot of stuff because it's coming from individuals who did not have the opportunity like you. You are now blessed with some knowledge, so spread it.
Actually,
Moving on, yes.
how we can elaborate between black hat Eno and cinnamon Eno?
What's the problem?
Actually, hat color is very similar to these birds. How we can elaborate?
So this is the result.
Between females.
Females.
Males and
In
females.
females.
Even in females, this is a female, cinnamon.
How we can elaborate between
Differentiate.
differentiate?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, differentiate.
Okay.
Differentiate the cinnamon Eno or black and Eno.
Look at this.
Black and blue.
Look at this.
Black
Keep
and-
your eyes on her. Look at this.
More brown.
Much more brown. This is like toffee. This is like toffee.
Toffee.
You know when you have like Spanish latte? It's like toffee. You know the toffee we eat? It's like toffee. In reality, it's like bronze. You cannot mistake. No chance. This
Light color.
This is very, very light. It's like cream. That's the difference.
Can we elaborate with the help of flying feathers?
Yeah. So basically, let's say, no, the flight feathers will be very humble. It's not a good marking. Don't go for the flight feathers. No. If you do that, you might fall into trap. Why? Because the bird itself might not have good colors. Then you want to help yourself, but then you get confused. With the classic flight feathers, it's very easy. In this world, don't. Because here they should be white. Here, you see that? It's very difficult. In reality, a very good bird should show a little bit brown. But it's very hard to achieve that thing. So don't. Just look at the head only. That's your best way. Okay? Are we good?
Yes.
Everybody's okay?
He has a question.
Ask.
Can we make a mix of education?
Any other
You need to have
How to produce
some cinnamon. It's not tuna, it's cinnamon. You need to have cinnamon to start. The problem is, or the gap that we have today, there is no formula that says to you start from somewhere to get somewhere. Today, all what we are doing, we are living on the work of the guys before us. Very much like the people who started with a pastille over the blue. In nature, you have the classic green, 3 colors, right? Just recently, 2 years ago, they started spotting in the wild blue. Blue golden finch in the wild. Because it's there in the genes, right? So, how did the pastille start? They don't know. They don't know. All what they did, lots of inbreeding, lots of crossbreeding, so outbreeding, and then the gene was able to trigger that. The pastille got available. Now from that pastille, everybody can easily get pastille. Similar thing related to the cinnamon. How did the first cinnamon start? Nobody knows. How did the first blue start? No one knows. That's the issue not only with Goldfinch, with everything else. Because genetics is something very, very complex. to be very honest with you. I tried my level best. I'm a very technical person in my discipline. All my life I've been studying industrial engineering. But when it comes to this world, I sit and ask people from the field of genetics, they can't answer. They can get close, but they can't answer, even for you and for me. They don't know. Why is my skin like this? You want to say that because I am from Bahrain? No, it's not. We have white people there also. So we don't know. Yeah? So now we can talk a little bit about the comparison between green Eno and cinnamon Eno, and this will have the example for you as well. So here we have some females. I have my water. I'm good. Thank you. Away from liquids, please. Away from liquids. Come to your example. So the way to compare is the head is the safest, best way. So you can see here, cream, brown. It's very clear. The difference is very clear. Come on. And then when I look here at bunch of more females, so they're all red in this case, and I can say here that I have Enos, right? And then here, what happens to the black? It becomes brown, right? So that's my indication that this is cinnamon, the element of cinnamon. And then to that side, to the right hand side, similar to this guy, this is the effect of the black here on the male. And then this is the effect of the black on the female. But then you can clearly see the brown there and the brown here. Even then in the hen, it's light. Because what we said about the feather length in the hen, short. And then, similar to those ladies, we have these gents, and you can see the aqua band being very strong. To recap on the greenback, and then we take a break, short break. I have a classic bird here, and then what happened for it to be a pastel? What went with this bird? What happened? What was missing? Eomelanin by 50%. And then I got to this level. What happened? Almost 100%. Almost 100%. Not 100, almost 100%. Okay? So the question is, caused by the absence of which melanin pigmentation? Eomelanin. Okay? What happened here? Why is this bird having a white breast? What's missing? Okay? Pheomelanin. So all of this becomes white.
Yes.
What else is missing that caused this bird to look pastel green?
Eomelanin and pheomelanin.
Very good, excellent. Eomelanin and pheomelanin both went missing. This is why the bird has evolved to be pastel and even Eno. Even Eno. Yes. Okay? This, yes sir.
On the first row, on second last, is this a bad bird or a good bird?
No, this is a variation. To me, this is the good bird.
No, on
Which one?
The fourth last.
This one?
Yes.
No, that's what I'm saying. So you compare this with that.
वो अच्छा है.
This is the good bird.
Both are single factors.
Yeah. So what we have here, both are single factors, but as I said before, if you don't have a good classic, what happens? This happens.
But as an individual bird, is this a bad bird or a good bird? Not
In terms of colors,
Yes.
I wouldn't prefer him. I see him as not optimal. What is the good bird? That's how the good bird should color look like. Okay? Right, so we covered quite a lot so far. We went through a big journey, and the next I have up is Blue Series. I think it's good to take a short break. Bio break, drinks, where a couple of things. First, we learn about the correct way of naming a mutation. Yes? We don't say blue, we don't say yellow. We can name it the official way we learn. We also learned about when I look at a bird, I understand what does the green in the back mean, what does the yellow in the belly mean, what does the white in the lower tail coverts mean, and so on. We also looked at the impact of missing pigmentations from one mutation to the other. Come on. And we saw the pastilles as examples. And then finally we had a look at the mutations, their inheritance, are they six-linked, are they autosomal, and I explained to you a little bit about what is also autosomal and so on and so. So and then we covered the the green back mutations. Now, over the next maybe 15-20 minutes, I'd like to go through the blue series. We will run through some questions and answers so we all can think together loudly. And then we talk about the next show that we have up, whether it's tomorrow or the online show as well. So, in blue series, the big question is, you asked me about aqua, I will ask me about sea green. So I'll start with the aqua. The official name being aqua, also known as turquoise. These two are the same. There has been some work that went on by the COE Federation in Spain. Several readers came together to come up with the results. So we did a research, and I, one of them. So we all came together because we also were confused. What is that word? What is sea green? We don't understand all of this because names get hit at us, and then when you dig, you don't get the truth. So we came up with this report, and I'm sharing you with the juice of the report. So I hope that everybody from this will understand what is aqua. Now, let's have a look very quickly, and there is no better way of simplifying the complex. To the left side, we have a classic bird, and in this pictorial we are trying to show you what? Not just the belly feather color, but also the belly skin color and the belly fat color. Classic bird. Next, aqua. What happened? The yellow, super strong, diluted by maybe 80-90%. What happened? Became green. Pastille, very similar, not too far away. Last, blue, normal blue, normal green, normal blue. In between, you have these guys. Just by looking at what? The feather. Now look at the fat. The skin color is dark. Fat is fat. We all know that. It's like white. The skin color is dark. What happened to the skin color? Pale. Skin color, similar. Skin color, similar. Aqua, just by looking at this, lives a lot on the blue, classic blue pigmentation. You could clearly see on the abdomen. Classic is very far away. All these three closer to each other. So almost like one family with the classic blue. See the classic green? Very different. Yeah? This is observation number one. Number two. When I look at, let's say, a red-head bird, in this case, we have the normal blue and we have the aqua blue. What's the difference in back?
Same as right.
Similar. Not same, similar. Look carefully. Blue. Greenish blue. Turquoise. Turquoise. You know Fairuza? The ring Fairuza? Fairuza. Okay? Markings, not much different. It's the same. You have the aqua, you have the white, you have the black, same.
Only the
Head, big difference. The secret is all here. And why this happens? Because in this area, the normal blue suppresses the lipochrome, cantaxanthine. The normal blue kills it. Aqua has nothing to do with it. SubhanAllah, it comes to the head, it doesn't touch that color, leaves it. Then it becomes bright. You could see normal blue head, normal red head in the blue back and red head in the aqua. That's the primary difference in the aqua. And then the belly. This is normal blue, this is aqua, little bit yellow, not too much. Because in the blue, almost 90% of the yellow is gone, only 10% left, so you see the green. In the aqua, it's between 70, no, more, 70 to 80. Yeah.
My question is, like the classic bird have a red head and the aqua bird have a red head. Both are the same red or lighter than?
No. We will show you another example. Just wait. So far I'm teaching you on the back and on the belly. Okay, so just bear with me. Females, similar examples, but with females. Normal blue, aqua blue. Both are red. Same principle applies. You can see the examples. Then pastel. And this is the jewel. If you ask me, aqua is super nice. I have aqua in my room. It's so nice to look at. Even if the bird is not nice model. As a color, subhanAllah, it's very harmonic. Very, very nice together, all together. And now when you talk pastel, especially if you can manage to find lilac breast with orange hair, it becomes superb, very beautiful to the eye. So here are examples. This is, for example, the blue impact. When you talk about pastel in the aqua, it looks like this. Yesterday somebody was saying silver. To the eye, this looks silver. So aqua pastel. There is no green, there is no blue. It's one aqua pastel. Khalas, when you say aqua pastel, this is it. Right? Here, normal green back pastel. Okay? And you have red, which is the pastel, and you have this, and in orange it looks like that. So, to answer your question, does this look like a pastel green to you? The red. Does it look like pastel green? No. There is a very big difference. One more slide to show the comparison. Bear with me, we have one example coming up next. Now, we talk sea green or ivory. So, aqua, also known as turquoise. What is important for you to remember? This is the secret. This is the secret. Autosomal recessive, just like the blue. It must be visible in both parents for it to be visible in the chicks. Autosomal recessive. This is what took me maybe 1 year to understand by actually breeding. Because people are judging on without knowing. So then you breed 1, 2, 3 seasons, you understand the pattern. But always the belly is light. And to answer you, red classic, red aqua. Right, it's not the same. It's like salmon color, very rich. I have some video in my phone or one of my, no, not my, it's like salmon color, like
Highlighted red.
like pink, but deep, Dark green. Yeah, like deep green, like that. Sunbrown.
Shocking thing.
So autosomal recessive. Autosomal recessive. That's the primary difference. And now we talk about sea green. And the way to differentiate the sea green is by looking at its inheritance. Totally different. This is now like Eno. Sex-linked recessive. Father gives to daughter, split to sons. Mother gives a split to sons, nothing to daughters. This is the business here. First, the head. Very, very similar to aqua. Very similar to aqua. Not like normal classic bird. Vibrant. Similar to aqua. You cannot differentiate. This is not where you should look at. Next point, the belly. much more yellow than aqua. Aqua, think of blue. Sea green, think of classic. This is closer to the classic, and aqua is closer to the blue. And this is why the inheritance of this bird is six-linked recessive. Six-linked, like the classic. The aqua is autosomal recessive, like the blue. You get the point? So there are. I've tried to simplify life now. So if I continue with further examples, I have basically two examples. And if I look at this bird, and if I look at that bird, I notice one primary difference, which is basically that the back is very much lighter. See this? Normal back. Here it's much lighter. And of course, the head and everything else is the same as we have discussed. Now let's do a holistic comparison between aqua and sea green. And this was one added point of the research that we did. This research is many pages, but I'm just showing you the summary. First, when I look at the red head, over here and over here, which one is aqua, which one is sea green?
First one is
sea.
Right hand, left hand. Right hand is what?
left green.
Right hand sea green.
And this one?
Aqua.
No.
This one is aqua.
Guys, I'm going.
Okay.
So, where do we look at? What's the first one? What's the first thing to look at? Belly.
Belly.
All right. Which belly looks like blue? Blue bird.
Second one. Yes, like
So this is aqua. Which belly looks similar to classic? So this is sea green. Okay. And then, number two. We looked at the bellies to start with, and we clearly noticed that when we are dealing with classic, then we have here a comparison between sea green, and then we had pastille and pastille. Both of them are aqua. And then here was another comparison between sea green and turquoise. This is looking like sea green. This is looking like turquoise or aqua, and this is blue. The primary difference is in the belly, if you ask me. Because some birds, if you look at the structure, the back, if the father or the grandfather had a very bad green, he will confuse everybody. Right? Why? Because the back is a combination. You have yellow, or you have pheomeline, and you have the blue structure, and you have the black. It's a salad of multiple pigments coming together. So if one pigment is wrong, it will just falsely, to my eyes, falsely will guide me to another direction. But here is pure yellow. How bad can it be? Originally it is yellow. So immediately I can come and say this is aqua, this is sea. Okay? The head, very similar, but this is not a very great bird. Question?
I have a question.
Yeah, he was. I stopped him. Yeah, go ahead. He's first.
Sir, in case of purple breast, the back color should be darker than
Slightly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slightly.
I'll show you a video that I have from my room. It's still the equation is the same. Think of it as if it's purple breast, bluebird. Still the belly is like this. Yes, sir.
Sir, these two birds are turquoise and blue in red.
This one.
These two.
Yes.
Then how should we
Blue
relate?
turquoise.
How should we relate them to in black hairs? For
Belly.
but-
Belly. Look at the stomach. Black head is black head. Will not change. No impact of turquoise on the black head. Black head, the turquoise or the aqua changes only the lipochrome. Black is melanin.
Yes.
Is another dimension. So when it's black head, you will not see difference on the head. Your eyes should only look at the belly. Like blue male or blue female. Black head. Stays black. Yes.
Is there any pastel seeding exist?
Pastel seeding, good question. I have not seen any, and people did not report any. There is one good, very, very strong breeder in Spain. He is a pioneer from the older generation. His name is Manuel Ayla Serna. Manuel Ayla Serna. He is the one who gave us those photos, actually. Very, very nice gentleman. In 2021, he actually sponsored the prize for the world champion. So he has those birds, and he is the one who's breeding with this. So maybe you can find him on Facebook and ask him, do you have Bastille seaweed? Because it's not hard to get. Shouldn't be difficult. You know, it's 6-length persistent.
So I have seen 2 to 3 birds were working like more yellowish back than what I say. I use silver word for understanding all of us. With the same head, with the same breast, but the back color are slightly different. The yellowish tone, one bird is increased and the silver portion is decreased. So I thought that if we use aqua with split yellow back bird, could we get to, that bird which is silver black, and if we use sea green or sea green and with yellow back with non-carrier of blue, it will work like yellow back signifactor.
No. No. Why? Because aqua is dominant to blue, recessive to green. So a yellow back bird, which is pastel green, is still stronger than aqua. That bird must be split to blue.
Yes.
For you to get blue, as in blue pastel. It has to. But let's say it is split to blue and you pair it with an aqua. The result will still be green. Split to aqua, maybe you will get chicks that look like this one.
Signifactor.
Like this.
Yes, yes.
You will get this.
This one.
It's not possible for you to get that.
For that,
Yeah, so this is possible. This is pastel. Pastel aqua. This question was, have you seen pastel sea green? I have not. But what we have done in the judging sheets, there is no such thing as pastel sea green and pastel aqua. They become merged. It's very difficult to your eye. Why? Because the only differentiator is what? The belly. And we all know in pastel the belly becomes already diluted. Why? Because you're living on blue foundation. This is no longer green foundation, right? It's like the bluebird. So it's very, very difficult to judge that. So pastel, aqua we have seen. The pioneer for that is Manuel Pan from Spain also. If you have Facebook,
most of no.
J.M. Serna. Jose Manuel Serna. Very nice gentleman. Anybody who has an opportunity to go to Spain, contact him. He's very welcoming, very humble, very, very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable, yet very, very humble. Very nice person to meet. Okay, so now that I have clarified the difference between aqua and sea green. Now, remember the very first of the presentation when I was saying avoid misconception, right? You will get hit with many things. Somebody taking photo and he's saying this and he's saying that. Our job is to determine the truth. So now, recently, for example, you might see these pictures and somebody claims that this is an aqua.
Aqua cinema.
Cinema.
Do you believe that this is aqua cinema? Do you believe that this is aqua?
No, it's sea green.
Why?
Because of
Now we understand the difference, right? This is what we need. Now, when people like that will come and say, this is aqua cinnamon, you ask him first, what was her father? What was her mother? How did she came? Then you see the picture of the father, you see the picture of the mother, you can understand. Because people can easily say that this is aqua cinnamon. To me, she's more sea green than aqua. She has no smell of aqua on her. Now, she might come from what he calls aqua, which again is sea green. But now you understand the difference, right? This is extremely important. Aqua is a descendant of, or highly closely related to blue. This is why the bellies are very similar, and this is why both of them are acting on the autosomal location, not on the six-linked location of the gene. Sea green and classic, both of them are having richer bellies, and both of them are on the six-linked location of the gene. Good. So similarly, if they come back to you with other colors, and this is what I wanted to summarize. That remember, we are almost 32 people in this room, alhamdulillah. If each one of us talk to 5 people, we have educated 150 people. They talk to 5 people, 450 people or more will get educated, and so on so. So the idea here is what? You spread the right message. And also, by doing that, you will be getting also good deeds, right? So, this to summarize on the sea green and the aqua. Now, what we've covered so far is quite a long journey. Let me talk to you a little bit about other mutations, or actually other questions, if I may. So, head mutations in the blue series. Now we have all of these colors. Black, right? When I get a pastel in blue, eomelanin becomes reduced, so I get gray, looks like charcoal, and then I have here orange head, I have here red head. So same classic colors in different variations. Same inheritance applies to them. Red head, again, it's six-linked dominant. Same thing in blue. Same thing. Nothing to do with blue. But the blue plays a vital role in the leucochrome. That's why black stays black. Other colors in blue is diluted in the head. Only in the head. And of course the back.
Now, how can we judge single factor and double factor blue series?
One moment. I now start with the classic blue. Slowly I will go to the pastel and the blue. Just give me some the time. Have you ever seen the 3 color breasts in blue together? So I had the ownership and I had the luxury of breeding these. This is from my own line. So here you see the feather. Very bad. Bad. My bird. This is my bird. Why I say bad? Because he's not a show type bird. Good size, but feather too loose. So he's a working father for me, not a show bird. You understand? I criticize my own birds because this is an educational session. I am being super humble right now. So what do? He needs a female that has tight feathers. But excellent mask. Drawing, fantastic, no zigzags. Also the color, superb. Now, why is it showing dark? Because the feather is too long. Feather on feather on feather showing dark. Yes? Next, lilac breast. You see? Lilac, purple, white. Halfway. That's a good lilac. And then white. Of course, this was young, so still changing color, so white. Now you ask me about pastel. How to differentiate about pastel and blue? So now what we have, this is, what do you think, single or double? This is, both of them are single.
Yes, sir.
Tamam? The difference is the white breast. Okay? And this is,
And also,
this is also what?
Single factor.
Single and is a female.
Like
The female single factor looks like a male double factor. So a male double factor looks like this in the blue series. Single, double male will be very, very similar to this. Will look like white. So you see here, this is the double factor. There you go. So what we have here is 2, and here we have 2. So on this side, I do have the black head, and if it was, let's say, yellow head, it will diminish, right? It will go away. And if it was red head, it will be very, very light. But the idea of the entire body, it will look like white. So here is a silver-looking color, which is the single factor. If it was double factor, it would be like this, white. Even the drawings, it will go. Very, very little will remain. Almost like albino. Almost like albino. You will have the aqua line on the neck, but very humble hint, not strong. Very light. So this is how you differentiate. Anything you see in color, you know it's a single factor. The moment you see it white, and he's a male, singing or whatever, and he has an aqua band, then you know it's a double factor. Now, cinnamon and blue, which is by far a lot beautiful. Cinnamon and blue, very nice, very attractive to see in front of you. So again, all the black becomes brown, similar to the classic. So then we talk about the Eno. Eno, in basically the albino or Eno blue, again 6 length, but must have blue. Without blue, gone. So it becomes, it will give you pastel or it will give you green Eno, for example. So it's a combination, all right? So here we have various types, if you can see. Now, I don't have any aqua line available. The missing aqua band tells me that this is a hen, it's a female. The missing aqua band is a female. The missing aqua band is a female. And in this posture, I also believe it's a female. It's just a picture, but she's just adjusting herself. She's not like singing. So if you see an albino, you will always notice there is a very thin, or like very light baby pink on the entire neck. So this is albino or Eno. Now we talk about the combination, right? So it's a crossover between 2 mutations that are living on the same location, 6 length, between cinnamon as well as Eno, and in the blue. So for the zebra people, you see 3 clump. Here, this is the 3 mutations combined together. This is very tricky, very advanced level. You need to have generation, like you can start next year, inshallah. You can go one step before this, and then you will come here. So you see again, these are all red eye. Okay, so all of them are Eno. But you see here, you have a hint of the blue, and you can see the impact of the cinnamon on the wing. supposed to be white. But because of the cinnamon, it interacted and made it brown. Similarly, you have it here. Of course, this is blackhead, this is orange head, similar thing. Everything is brown. But in reality, if you see this bird, you will like it. It's very nice. And on this side, you think this is male or female?
Female.
Why? No?
Blue band.
Very good. So this is a female, this is a female, this is a female. Now you see here, this is what? No. Both are female, but this is what?
One is blue, you know, the second one is blue.
Full mark. Excellent. Bluino or albino, cinnamon. Very good. You realize the difference now. Your eyes are getting trained, right? And then let's do a quick comparison between cinnamon eno in the green and in the blue. So this is an easy way to start. Everything black becomes brown. Very straightforward. But you notice that stuff like lipochrome here got impacted because it's a blue back. Here it was not touched because it's green back. Similarly, the rest. Okay, now let's wrap up this session with some questions that I consider them being important. Now, mention one of the recent mutations that is not yet recognized. It is established, but not yet recognized in the COM, C-O-M. What mutation you've heard about? We talked about it last night even.
Yellow ram.
Yellow ram, very good. So the yellow ram. So you know Clyde, right? Clyde works with these, not him, but in South Africa, he is also a judge for these. What happens here in the yellow ram? The mutation affects the blue structure of the feather. Only in two areas. See, the aqua was not affecting the head too much, right? So it was bright. In the yellow ram, what happens? The nape area, because of less blue, becomes yellow. And then, see the rump. Parts of the wings, but that's not important. What matters the most is this portion. You see this? What happened to the lines, the drawings? What happened to the blue? All gone. So this is the biggest sign, followed by this. Don't focus too much on the wings. That is secondary. In the blue, look at that. What happened here? Of course, this guy has his hand, but if he removes his hand, you will see a white patch here. So it always impacts that with this. Now, some people claim that this is yellow rump or H. Some people call it H. They call it pastille H. I don't believe in that, to be very honest with you. Because even here, you have, instead of the aqua, you're getting purple. So this is what I mean by that these kind of mutations take time to be established. Because is it true that this is how it is? It's debatable. We try to encourage the breeding. We don't discourage the breeding. We encourage the breeding. Go experiment, do. But before giving it a name, cool it down. Give yourself 1 or 2 years. See the outcome, see the result. Because anything you spit out to the world, it just propagates in every kind of direction. And you don't want false idea to be there of some unrecognized mutations.
White,
Milanese, outsider, very good. So we are good. See these examples. A few months ago, somebody was saying, "Oh, I came up with something like this." Okay, looks nice. I'm not denying it. Congratulations for you. Prove to me that this will be transmitted to his chicks. Okay? And what is this? Is this pastille aqua or sea green? No. Doesn't look white. No, not white. This is not white. It has very bad colors, but it's not white. And then you have the impact of Melanesian. Half cider, for example. Blue head. What on earth is a blue egg? It's nothing but bad colors. Bad colors residing. And then you have, like let's say blue breast. Some people 3 years ago were bragging, that, oh, I have a blue breast. And I'm like, wait, let's understand. It's not a good thing to do. So be careful, because not everybody breeds with passion, right? And then you have this kind of bird. You would come again and say this is cinnamon, but is it? Because this is gray. So what's happening here? Dark factor? I don't know. Another question. Why hens have darker masks typically?
Short feathers.
Short feathers, thank you. In a nutshell, this is what it is. So, long feather, short feather. And then, let's see here, yeah. What is the classification of this bird? Give me the proper classification. Gender, but I can't hear you. Okay. Everybody agrees that she's a female? Yes. Are you sure?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah, she's a female. And the way to figure out, the way to know is the beak. And why is that? Because she's in condition. If she's not in condition, you're confused like that. But credit to this breeder, because he achieved this quality. It's not normal for you to see a red hen that looks like this. This is superb show quality. When you talk about excellent, this is an example. Irrespective of how he achieved it, the point here is the mask is clean. And because the mask is clean, the back and everything else associated with it is clean, which tells me she has excellent balance in pheomelanin all over her body. All over her body, because even her breast is rich. And you see the aqua? That's how the female should be. You see some people bragging about their birds and the aqua is white. It's good. Breeding is one thing, show is another. Right? And we are here today, we want to be there. Step by step by step. Another question. Where does the pheomelanin reside? So you have female and male, and you have a classic. Where are the key places of pheomelanin in the body? Head, breast,
and belly.
belly, flanks. Head, breast, flanks. Main places. What will happen if I completely remove pheomelanin from a bird?
White.
White breast. White breast, yes. No pheomelanin. And you can see here, just by comparison, what's the belly color? What's the belly color? What's the head color? What's the head color? This is why this kind of bird always is attracting the eye more. Tomorrow, inshallah, you'll have grand opening with people coming. If you have this mutation, you always notice the people are here. This bird, they like it, but when you compare it with this, people who don't know, strangers or laymen, they will come, wow. They get attracted by this because of the brightness. Yeah? Okay, so what we've learned today? Many things. Alright? Good knowledge, good information. It's only the start. It's not the end. Okay? So from here we want to spring more and more. I'd like to thank you, Shukriya, aap log ke liye bahut bahut. Yes.